Hey,
Hi, we have everyone from Modern Love in the Zoom house.
that's it. That's us.
We're here.
Well, thank you so much for joining my Mod Rock Jam podcast. I'm Giselle. Now, I know you're from, please correct me if I'm wrong, Drogheda, Ireland.
Oh,
Yeah,
that was good. That was good.
That's the one.
John,
Research prepping really helps. But if I were to visit Drogheda, Ireland, what are some hidden gems that I could expect?
The park. God, oh, the park. The park is good crack, yeah.
place called Fantasia. You can go play some bowling if you want.
Well, it's beside a big monument called Newgrange. That's pretty cool.
Traditional Irish pubs, like there's like people with guitars singing folk songs and stuff like that.
If you head like a little bit out of the town, there's lots of like, as Graham said, this place like Newgrange. There's like a place called Mellifont Abbey, which is like an old monastery.
A lot of
like
history and stuff.
hundreds of years old.
Nice. All right. Well, hopefully I do fly over to Ireland. I'll definitely check out those places. I'm not the best bowler, but
That's okay. That's okay.
I don't know.
For most of you, this is your first time in America. Especially this is your first time as a band touring. And what do you think of the States so far? Have you found a favorite one as you've kind of gone by?
They've all been so different. I think they've all been like great in their own ways. Like Texas was like crazy for us, like such a culture shock. And New York was just like the city itself was so overwhelming and massive. Yeah, very impressed by like those two. We did some cowboy boot shopping in Texas, and some like Mexican bars and cantinas, stuff like that. Wouldn't get it at home.
Yeah, I did see that online, your cowboy hats and all, and you recently just played South by Southwest. Are there any other festivals you would like Modern Love to play?
Lollapalooza in Chicago would be amazing to play.
Coachella.
Coachella.
Why not? Yeah.
We could wear some like assless chaps like Coachella. People wear
Yeah,
Yeah, oh my gosh, that would be great. And then also we have here in the Bay Area, we have Outside Lands that happens like every August. So that would be great to see you guys come perform there. And I've been looking at your social media a lot, and I also saw that you went to Waffle House. Did you see a fight break out?
No,
A fight.
but
We didn't. We were pretty
Thankfully
comatose by the food because it was so intense. So there might have been a fight, and we were just like, out of
Why
it.
would a fight break it?
Because
Yeah,
okay, I'm glad that you brought that up because they're really known for breaking out fights, and it's always like the customer versus the employees. I'm pretty convinced that if you apply to work at a Waffle House, you must already have some fight training. But like it'll be trending on social media. There was one, it was like the most epic video I saw where this customer threw a chair at an employee and she like blocked it, caught it, and spun it in a circle, and it was like phenomenal.
Wow. Waffle House.
Graham has some experience with that. He knows
I'll
karate,
work in
so
Waffle
I think
House.
yeah.
I'll leave the band and work there.
If any of us could survive a Waffle House, it's definitely Graham.
A
What
Waffle
the-
House attack.
Yeah, it's like when you play those action video games and you get to pick your warrior, like if the Waffle House employee is not there, I don't want to play it.
I thought the staff were really nice though. It didn't seem like there was much
It's
fight.
probably the customers that are the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Glad there were no fights breaking out where you're there. Maybe it was like, oh, Modern Love's here. We have to all act very like lovingly towards each other, pretend that we like each other.
Everyone's on their best behavior for us. Yeah.
Exactly. So how I discovered your music was because I go to a lot of shows in the Bay Area, and I see that you're playing at Brick and Mortar next week. And I was like, huh. I'm like, who's Modern Love? So I checked out your music. I got to listen to Us, fell in love with it. And when you find a band that you really like care about, you're like, I can't be selfish. I got to share it to the whole world. So I shared it to a couple of friends, and now they're fans. So I want to know, has there been a band that you discovered on your own and that you had to pass along to your friends?
That's kind of what this whole band is. Like that's what all of our influences are just given to each other by each other. Like Graham and Barry was super into, particularly Graham was like super into Prince.
Oh, Graham got me into Prince.
Before anyone else, Graham was like super into Prince, so we all love him now. And me and Danny, I feel like we probably show Graham and Barry a lot of like electronic music and that kind of stuff. So we share each other's influences all the time.
Yeah.
I know I kind of annoy everyone with just like obscure like country music sometimes that nobody else gives a shit about. I'm like, oh, listen to the lyrics in this, guys. It's about like these cowboys that are gonna be like they're on the run, and everybody's like,
I love that stuff.
Yeah.
I listen to a lot of Wichita Lineman, is that what it's called?
Oh yeah,
we're all like kind of tearing up in the van through Texas with that one.
But yeah, like we're very much sort of like as musicians and writers informed by each other and each other's sort of inspirations.
So who have you been jamming out to currently then?
What about you, Danny? Go first.
Lately, I've been listening to Slow Tie's new album quite a bit, which is really good.
Alex G, his new album is amazing as well. I've been listening to that.
Who have I been listening to? I'm looking up my
Joni Mitchell. We've been listening to.
Joni Mitchell.
Was that Caroline Paul?
Caroline
Polachek. Her new album's really cool. I've listened to that.
Wonder Horse and Dead Letter are really cool.
Nice. I'm going to have to check those out. And as I mentioned, I'm always kind of checking out your social media. And I know that your fans will be posting or resharing like snippets of your live show. Do you ever watch it and kind of critique yourself?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm too stressed to do that.
Yeah.
I think naturally you do critique yourself, but you know, you can't go back and change it anyway. Yeah. So there's no point like
if there's a song that's like particularly bad, we just won't reshare it.
Yeah, but lately on this tour it's kind of
that never happens.
So
yeah, luckily we're so good and brilliant at performing that it never really happens. But
it's all that practicing and doing all those Nirvana covers in the early days.
That's it. Yeah. But it's crazy. After every gig, we sit back into the van or like the bus to like drive to the next city, and immediately as soon as we all sit down, I just hear our songs playing, and everybody is on their phone like looking over like the shows that we've just played. Like, fan stuff.
I'm kind of like that too. Like after a show, it's like, you know what? I still want to listen to the band's music. Yeah. So your music video only you could hear like the crowd like chanting your lyrics back. Is that always a goal for you at every show? You want the audience to dance and to recite your lyrics?
Yeah, I think when that happens, you kind of, you know, that there's people like relating to it and taking something from it, and there's people that feel the same way that you do about what you're singing about. So I think when that happens, that's kind of the dream. That's kind of why we want to play shows. Like
when we started years ago, like the reason we kind of leaned into like poppy dancey music is because when we were doing covers, we noticed that like they were the songs that got people moving the most. Yeah. So I think it's always our goal for people to just have fun.
Yeah, for our gigs to be like a shared experience.
Yeah.
You know, it's fun for us, but it's also fun for the crowd, and we can all...
It informs how we write the songs. It informs how we perform them. Like it's all about crowd interaction, fan service. Yeah.
Wow, that's really interesting. So this ends up affecting your future songwriting. Like, okay, they like the dance pop music, but then how does it go about when you write something more like a ballad, like Come Over?
Yeah, well, I think it's more that like playing the gigs and enjoying them, especially coming out of COVID, that really informed what we wanted to do like right now immediately for this next EP. As in, we just had so much fun being able to play gigs again, so we wanted to just write the biggest, loudest, shoutiest songs that we could so everybody could sing along. But yeah, like other times, like in the case of Come Over and other songs like Let Me Know, they're just kind of points of, you know, like quiet, contemplative reflection.
Nice word.
Yeah.
Fair play, man. That was cool.
But yeah, we sort of want to do all of that, like look within ourselves as songwriters as well.
Yeah, we kind of just
explore ourselves and each other.
Oh yeah. Every inch of each other.
That's where the country music plays, because I think country artists, whether you like the genre or not, they're always great storytellers.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So I also want to talk about your other music video, On My Mind. How long did you take to rehearse that choreography?
An embarrassingly long.
I actually didn't practice it until the night before, and then we were in London, and the lads went out to get food or something, and I had to just learn it.
You learned it in like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It took the three of us like weeks, and Graham just showed up.
He's an
I didn't
expert
know.
already.
Yeah.
The
Just
guy
got
just
the
did.
moves.
Just have the dance
Graham
moves.
has the
The
moves.
hidden talent unearthed.
Yeah.
Okay, because I wasn't sure when I go see you live in San Francisco whether I should do those gestures.
We forget them
But we
already,
won't be
so-
doing them.
Oh yeah,
So-
exactly, right? Yeah, I'll speak to a group of fans like, okay, so when they play that song, we got to do those exact dance moves.
I'd love to see that.
That'd be hilarious.
Hilarious.
That would be quite impressive seeing.
Yeah.
If we did it, it'd be great. Like,
Well, it reminded me because I'm a huge Backstreet Boys fan, and I watched a documentary on them, and they really started like little boys. I mean, that's why they're called Backstreet Boys. But like they started so young, and they kept rehearsing every single day. And then, I mean, you think about today's society, today's kids, like I don't want to do that, but they like stayed committed to the role, and then they end up being the biggest boy band.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if we have that drive in us.
No.
We don't have back drive, but
We like their songs though.
So,
Three of
I
us.
know that the band started with you, Kian, and then Graham, Barry, Daniel, you all came together. Do you know what other drummer started his other band or started his band?
Larry Mullen.
Larry Mullen from YouTube.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yeah. I was like, please, I hope this Irish band knows about the other Irish band. Yeah, and Bono gives credit to Larry, saying thank you so much for giving me my first job. Did you have any other jobs prior to Modern Love?
Oh, we've had
We've had the worst jobs.
I've worked in about 4 different factories.
A lot of
doing
factory work,
12-hour
yeah.
shifts, night shifts.
I worked in that Fantasia place I was recommending earlier. It was,
Don't go there.
don't go there. It wasn't great. Yeah, didn't enjoy it.
I worked in a McDonald's. It's like
Graham worked in a bar as well, a really early day.
Really
bad. No, it was a great bar. It's really fun, but
It's
dangerous
lots of work.
people.
It's really not fun.
No.
That's all.
It just has a pool table. That's kind of it.
that's why we went.
Yeah.
I'm not really great at pool. I'm not good at bowling. I'm not good at pool.
Neither are we, but it's still fun. It's
Yeah.
kind of it gets more fun like the worse you get at it.
But isn't it so interesting to look back at your past? Like, man, I did this, I did that, and now we're, embarking the US with a tour.
Yeah.
It's very surreal.
It makes you very grateful that
Mhm.
you're not in your old job.
Yeah.
Or in any job. Makes you very grateful that you don't need to like do a normal job.
If you told us this time last year that we'd be sitting in Boise, Idaho, in the middle of a month-long US tour,
Yeah,
we all would have
Yeah, we
been.
wouldn't believe it.
Yeah. It was,
Yeah. You're like randomly just Boise, Idaho. But
Yeah.
I was
Well
gonna
placed.
say, is it true that so I think Barry, you learned the guitar just to be in the band, but did the rest of you already know how to play your instruments, or you just like let's pick it up and learn as we go?
They were already like virtuoso players, and I couldn't do anything. I remember I was in school with Danny, and I moved school. I never really actually met him, but we took music classes together, and Danny and one of his friends would just like shred like heavy metal like guitar solos, and I'd be standing there like with like a tin whistle. I heard like a kid's version of a flute getting ready to play something. I couldn't do anything. I always liked singing, but I didn't ever like
It's hard to share that.
in a band.
It is incredible though. I always say like it literally took Barry like from he couldn't play the guitar at all in May of like whatever year it was, and then by the end of the summer, like August, September, like he could play the guitar. So like
It's pretty
he
impressive.
did do it very quickly, which
I just didn't get very good and never got any better.
yeah.
You're not at the Prince level just yet.
No, I'm not at the Graham Fagan level just yet.
You never will.
Never will.
You'll
Yeah.
never catch me.
Well, it kind of reminds me when Duran formed, and I'm like, I know, like I'm dating, but none of them knew how to play instruments, but they were so devoted to forming a band, and they're like, okay, we better learn our instruments really fast, and now they got inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So who knows? Maybe that'll be your path too.
Maybe
Maybe
yeah.
just Barry
Yeah.
can get it.
So I was going through Spotify and I saw that you created a playlist, Modern Love songs, and you have a lot of great throwbacks from, of course, Prince and Smashing Pumpkins. You gotta add U2, but the one that stood out to me the most was the Cranberries, and I've always wanted to ask an Irish band this. What was their musical impact on you guys, as well as, you know, the generation of newer music coming out of Ireland?
You two are like the biggest band like ever from Ireland. I think Cranberries are kind of like the coolest one. Like it's like 80s or like 90s sort of like rock and like almost shoegaze. Like it sounds like Cocktail Twins to me.
That's what I was gonna say. They're such a good like gateway band into like stuff like My Bloody Valentine and Slow Dive and Cocktail Twins,
and they take that and they put it in like, you know, pop songs or like, you know, ballads and stuff. Like the actual sounds coming out of them are like these really, really weird things, but they package it in a way that's just very, very digestible. And
like and they have that like Irish tone to them.
It's a melancholy to it.
Dolores O'Riordan's voice is like Sinead O'Connor's. It's like immediately like that's Irish. That's an Irish singer, like Shannon.
The Shannon style of singing, which is like an Irish technique.
Traditional.
So it's cool.
Yeah, they're just really, really.
And even
really
like
cool.
a song like Zombie, which is like, you know, played to death, that you still can't like overstate how important it is, and like the message behind it is so amazing. Even though you've heard it a million times, it's still such an important Irish song, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. With the history as well within the lyrics. And it's also a great karaoke song just to get your like anger and frustration out. But yeah, there will never be another voice like her. So rest in peace, Dolores. So The Cure has been on social media news because they just announced their upcoming tour. I think they're going to be dropping a new album. Also Robert Smith voiced his opinions on Ticketmaster, kind of ripping off the fans. So I know that you guys are fans of The Cure. If you were to convince a Cure fan to check out a Modern Love show, what would be the sales pitch?
What would be the song?
I'd probably show them Until My Heart Stops Beating. It's the most like early Cure song that we have, I think.
Yeah, or like a come over type thing. Yeah, like one of the sad ballady things. I would say that we're just sales pitch would be that like we're very, very like them.
Yeah,
we rip off all their songs.
Yeah, all their demos before they have proper names have like Cure song. Yeah. So that would be the pitch probably.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay, so I did also find out you have a lot of other influences, but I'm gonna name off a couple of these bands, and you're gonna pick which of these bands you're gonna speed date with, you're gonna go tour with, party, go to amusement park. So of these bands, Kings of Leon, Foals, Taking Back Sunday, Blink-182, who would you speed date? Who would you tour? Who would you go to the amusement park with?
Go to an amusement park with Kings of Leon would be hilarious.
Or Blink-182 though.
Blink-182. Let's say
tour with Kings of Leon, definitely.
Amusement park with
speed date. I wouldn't really want to speed date Taking Back Sunday.
Yeah.
What was the other option?
Foals.
Yeah, so I said speed date, tour with, party with, amusement park.
It was Foals.
Party with Taking Back Sunday.
Party with Taking Back Sunday. Speed date.
And speed date.
Is that guy's name Giannis?
Giannis.
Yeah, he's hot.
He is hot.
He seems pretty nice. Yeah.
Nice beard.
He's got he wears his guitar really high.
So do I. Yeah. That's why I do that.
We don't know anything about their music. We just
I know 2 of their songs.
It's fucking hot.
So, of those bands, have you seen any of them live?
I've seen Blink-182 live. I've seen 3 times, I think.
I went to Kings of Leon last minute. My brother gave me tickets, and I went straight from 12-hour shift in work to the gig. I was so sweaty, but it was very jealous.
I think I saw Foals at Electric Picnic. Were Foals at Electric Picnic one of the years we were there?
They played at Trinity.
We did actually, yeah.
I think we did see Foals.
I think maybe we just kind of walked by.
We were very
sped past,
intoxicated at the time, I would imagine.
I don't know if Taking Back Sunday have ever played an Irish gig.
No, they haven't. I'd like to go, although his voice is kind of...
I'd say you can still do it.
I hope so.
I know that you're also a fan of the show How I Met Your Mother. I've been watching How I Met Your Father, but
Oh, it's terrible, isn't it? It doesn't have
Yeah.
the same thing
That's
to
the
it.
thing. How about your father?
Yeah,
Yeah,
How I Met Your
Jesus
Father is a thing.
Christ.
Well, the
Hillary Duff.
reason why I've been watching it is because I'm a huge Hillary Duff fan from watching her on Lizzie McGuire growing up. So she's kind of like been my idol. But are there any characters you could relate to on the sitcom of How I Met Your Mother?
Barney.
I feel a lot like Ted, a lot, which I know is a bad thing. Lots of people don't like Ted, but I love Ted. I feel like I like the way he approaches his life.
Graham's kind of like Marshall a little bit.
Yeah,
I've never watched it.
it's only me and Barry that have seen it. The other
I
two.
really don't like it.
Nah.
I watched How I Met Your Father though.
I love that.
Yeah, I would say that Keen's pretty like Ted.
Who's Marshall? Which one is that?
Marshall is a Ted's best
Jason
friend.
Segel.
Oh, I'll take that. I like him.
Danny is Lily.
Lily.
Yeah, he's
I can be like Lily.
Sure, I'll take that. Yeah.
So I know that your band name Modern Love does not come from the Modern Love song by David Bowie, but if you could listen to a David Bowie record or one that kind of represents you the most, what would it be?
Say Ziggy Stardust.
Yeah, I
Be
was
my
gonna say.
one.
I like
Ashes to Ashes because we smoke. So
Heroes as well. That's great.
I was getting ready to go out one night recently, and the person I was having drinks with put on Black Star. And I was like, this is the
man.
weirdest.
Oh, Black Star. That's the new.
Great. Like, it's like for like going
So
out. I was like, I'm
sad,
trying to get hyped up, and this Black Star he's singing about having cancer and dying.
Yeah.
That would not be the album that I.
It's still a really good album.
It's amazing.
I've never listened to
It's
it.
just not like a
It doesn't get you
it's not
hyped.
a
Fun
hype
listen.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really
So-
sad one because it's kind of going through like he knows he's finally approaching death. It's just like, oh, it's a little bit eerie, but it's still a masterpiece.
That's
Mm.
pretty
Yeah,
cool, yeah.
it's a lot.
I don't know if this is real, but I screenshot this. This is from a CNN post or tweet. New study finds most guys in bands are losers and join to seem cool. Picture of you guys.
It's very true.
That's us.
Yeah.
Where is that picture of us?
I
It's
think that's
not real.
I don't think. I hope it's not real.
No,
we are
it's-
losers.
It's real.
It's true. I don't know if it's
But
real.
it's not real.
Yeah, we're losers.
We don't have jobs, so there's
Yeah.
that.
I was just like, wait a minute. I'm about to boycott CNN right now.
That would be great though. Put that out
If
of
they,
the-
I actually wish they did. Yeah, we could
Probably
we
get
could
more.
talk about that forever if that was real.
With your band Modern Love, we live in a digital time of finding love, just basically swiping on a dating app. And I want to know if you could come up with a Tinder profile bio based on your photos. I don't know if you can. Who wants to start first?
Oh,
well,
Our
the
bio.
it'd probably be something really, really like just cringy lyrics from some emo song, probably.
maybe some like I don't know, like senpai shit.
Yeah, I was right about to say you look
Keen's
a bit
face.
like L from Death Note there.
Yeah,
So
Some, like,
yeah,
anime.
maybe some like anime quote.
yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
Death Note lover.
Death Note lover boy.
Death Note
69.
lover boy 69.
69.
Yeah. Meet me at the skate park.
Meet me at the skate park. You bring the
Oh.
monster.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
did drink Monster at the skate park.
Yeah.
Modern Love. Do you have any modern love stories or like any films that you're like, okay, this is a guilty pleasure?
Guilty pleasures. I have a lot of guilty pleasure, like music, like Westlife is a boy band from Ireland.
Oh yeah, Barry will not stop playing Westlife in the van, and it's
Great.
it's slowly
I
driving me
can't
insane.
do
It's
it
so
any-
bad.
anymore.
Screw you guys.
Right now.
You already have a choice.
Nice thing on. Well,
Yeah, well, three of us really, really don't enjoy it, and Barry just throws caution to the wind and starts
Yeah.
flying without wings.
Wings,
I think How I Met Your Mother was sort of a guilty pleasure for us because it's so bingeable
Yeah,
that you can just like put it on forever, and you shouldn't be like watching like 20 episodes in a day. You should probably get up and shower.
go to work,
Yeah,
make money,
yeah, and walk your dog. Your poor dog hasn't been walked in like 2 weeks.
contribute in some way to society.
Yeah.
But there's so many people who really, really hate How I Met Your Mother, which I only found out through liking it so much. So I guess How I Met Your Mother is probably a guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
I've been actually watching a show with Jason Segel on Apple TV Plus. It's called Shrinking, where he plays like a therapist, but he doesn't play like your traditional therapist. But it's a really great show. But I liked him ever since I was watching the show Freaks and Geeks. I don't know if you guys remember that show.
That show.
Yes, I can't believe it got canceled after like one season. Like, why?
It kind of makes it more special though. There's like, because it can never be ruined. You know, there's just like one great season of it.
Yeah,
on such a as well. Like, what's gonna happen and nothing ever.
Yeah, you were talking about earlier your new EP Nightlife. It's coming out tomorrow, Friday. What can you tell us about it?
A lot of the songs on it being informed by how much we've enjoyed playing music live in front of like audiences for the first time, especially after COVID. So yeah, there's just a lot of like going out music.
I think we really wanted to switch up what we'd done on the second EP, because the second EP was like very poppy, and this one feels a lot more kind of in your face, and like there's a lot more direct. Yeah, it's a lot. It's very immediate. There's obviously still like pop influences in it, but it feels a lot more
fuck you.
A lot more fuck you. Yeah. And then there's a song on it at the end that Barry and Danny made that it's like one of my favorite songs that we have.
I'm very excited for people to hear that.
It's very sad and very different.
It kind of has that it's like an electronic piano ballad type song. We haven't really released anything like that before, so
and it's about dissociating and freaking out, which is great.
So, and it just kind of like
nice.
it's like it's not as structured as like some of our we write in structures a lot, and this one kind of like meanders, and it's just this like it's just one big piece.
It feels like a little journey that
just a what do you call it? Train of consciousness? That's not it.
Train of thought.
Yeah, stream of consciousness.
Well, I'm looking forward to streaming it once it drops. So, as well as hearing it live. And I'm gonna borrow this question because you posted it on your Instagram story. What was the best, craziest night you've had?
Oh, we've had some.
We've had too many.
Crazy
Nashville was a good crazy night.
Nashville was fun, yeah.
Me and Graham found out we were really good at darts.
Oh yeah.
I never knew that before. You guys went to
we went to Jack White's bar in Nashville.
That was
the
fun.
Blue Room, which was cool.
Yeah, we got very, very
I just got drunk and fell asleep.
We ended up at a house party as well at the end of the night.
Yeah.
Which was fun.
We used to always have in our practice room in Drogheda, we used to have all these crazy parties that used to get quite out of hand.
Yeah.
And
our rehearsal space is in an old, like, disused strip club. So we would throw parties.
And like sometimes you would invite like 20 people, and there would be like 60 people there sometimes. And
people you've never met before and are quite dodgy.
Yeah.
Graham woke up in a chicken coop at a festival.
Oh,
a pretty fun one.
That's a good one.
That was good, yeah.
That definitely felt good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's been too many.
What are your go-to drinks then?
Whiskey.
Okay.
Jameson,
Whiskey or Guinness?
Guinness is the one at home, and then like
Keen's got a Guinness tattoo.
Yeah, I've got it.
Oh damn! You should get like a sponsor for life. Like, look at this.
I'm hoping.
That'd be great. Actually.
I think whiskey. I like red wine and Guinness.
I like a bit of wine.
That's kind of
cocktails as well.
Yeah,
a Manhattan.
Anything. Put anything in front of us.
We will drink
everything apart from cider. We don't drink cider.
I hate water as well.
Cider and water.
Yeah, we don't drink that shit.
Yeah.
All right.
Sugar in it.
Although usually when you're performing live, they'll just leave out water bottles. Like, no, give me some whiskey.
We'll throw them away.
What the fuck is this shit?
Okay, well, thank you so much, guys, for spending your morning with me. Hopefully you get plenty of rest, and I'm looking forward to when you come to San Francisco on March 30th.
Thanks for having us.
Great job.
Okay, bye.